Welcome to the future, but probably not that far away. Maybe 2026 we will see this car, which is currently a concept car, but what is the Kia EV2? And you need to take a look at the inside. Come check this out. Details right now are quite sketchy, and to be fair, it is a concept car, so the interior is probably going to be a lot different when this goes into production. But the exterior, Kia don't usually change huge amounts of details on the exterior of their concept cars. Maybe some movement of headlights for EU regulations and things like that. But this is an interesting car. So the rear bench will essentially be able to be moved out of the vehicle. The idea being this bench in the front can slide back. You can kick back, relax, sleep, watch entertainment while it charges, or you just wait to collect somebody because they're taking ages. To give you an idea of how this will work, so the front bench slides back, you have another cushioned area that pops out so you can kind of sit on the edge of the vehicle, and the rear bench fully slides up that way, so you have all this extra space at the front of the vehicle. It's a really cool concept, not something we've seen before, and just makes this a really unique vehicle if the final production version gets this feature. So this is how it will look if you push the front driver passenger bench back. This area is a cushioned seat, so you can kind of sit on the edge of the vehicle. How the rear bench slides back, this seat part obviously just folds back into it. There's some little hooking points on the back of that, and it just gives you a huge amount of leg room and space. These will be the sliders that it should be able to glide back on, and just a very different, unique idea. In many ways, it looks like a squished EV9. It still has these signature lights, another unit going on here. Black strip, high gloss across the front, doesn't light up, at least not for now at least. Lower down in the bumper, EV2 is in high gloss, and some recycled looking materials going on. You can always spot that by the flecks in the plastic, just the flecks a different colour. Will this make it into the production version of the car? But certainly on the nose, it's hard to explain the size of it. I mean, this makes it look quite big. If we're comparing it to the Inster from Hyundai, for example, it feels like a much bigger vehicle. So with the idea and concept of a picnic in the city, what you would normally use as support for your back comes out and can be used as a cushion to sit on some grass or even on some concrete. And again, just a very cool idea. So showed you earlier on something else in the door that looks like cork, but actually it's essentially mushroom. And Kia have a commitment to use more sustainable products in their vehicles. So this is all recycled material. There will be the usual concept of some plastic reused from the ocean, and just makes for a more sustainable and fully recyclable car. The speakers in the door can come out, and you can bring the speakers with you while you're having a picnic. Now that might annoy people around you, I'm not sure, but have you ever heard of a car where you can detach the speakers from the door and play your tunes on the beach or something like that? I'd imagine the screen inside the vehicle will be fairly true to what it might be like, but there's lots of lovely colours and textures, and they say the ambient lighting in the doors, which also runs around the pedals, will illuminate the vehicle and give you a lovely sense of just calmness in the vehicle. The different materials, again, will we see this in reality, but it looks like cork on the inside of the door. There's no C-pillar, so obviously enough these doors open this way. Sometimes helpful, sometimes problematic. We saw this in some Mazda vehicles a few years ago, but the level of space inside this car, I'll just step out of the shot to give you an idea. If this is what they managed to squeeze in to the wheelbase, that again is still going to be around 2.8, there will be an awful lot of space in this car. Just show you a few more details around the exterior to give you an idea of how this EV2, which apparently will go on sale in 2026, or at least into production, will look. Loving some of the wheels that Kia are coming up with these days. They're not a million miles away from the GT line wheels on the EV3, but the inserts are still new. We've got more of this recycled housing, huge big chunk of it along the side of the vehicle. This is obviously an idea of what it looks like when the doors are closed. kind of gives me Renault 5 vibes over the rear quarter of it, but I love the way it's just all so seamless. And for now, there's no door handles here. You'd imagine they would put them on this part of it. This is all glass right across the vehicle, so you're going to feel like you're in a fish tank, I suppose, if you're on the inside of it, but it just will give you a lovely sense of space with so much light flooding into the vehicle. Again, concept car, so will the lights be this low? Not sure. You would wonder, will they manage to get them to stay then this low with EU regulations? And if you're wondering how that all works, the EV9 in America has a different style of light because they don't have the same rules, and it was deemed in Europe that the light position and just the area of the light was not beneficial to pedestrians in the event of impact. Everything feels much lower down at the back of the car compared to the front of the car. It's a weird juxtaposition. I don't know where the wiper is going to be, or if there even will be a wiper, but I imagine if there was, it would sit into this, because we've seen this on other vehicles. Again, this texture, a mix of the recycled materials, this matte paint over, and EV2 concept. So obviously concept won't stay on it if it goes into production, but EV2 down here, it's kind of a nice way of, it's a different way of doing model designations. Normally we see it on either side of the boot, but it's nice that it's down here. A very, very striking looking car, it has to be said. And again, hopefully not a million miles away from reality when we see this on the road. One thing is definitely for sure, there will be an EV2 coming, and it's going to slot into that again. ID2 from Volkswagen space and some of the products from BYD. This is another example of another model that Kia will manage to shoehorn in alongside EV3 and 4 and 6. So let me know what you think of this cool little concept car and the EV2 from Kia, and thank you very much for watching.